do miss the noise this thing makes though. Okay, sit rep on what we're going to do with the garage. So lots going to happen in the next 24 to 48 hours. I've got to move a lot of vehicles around. You'll notice I'm back in something you've not seen for a little while. I'm back in the Land Rover, which is currently sitting on my driveway. I moved it for some power cables to be installed. I need to put it back on the earth, the bit of garden where it was parked before, to free up driveway space, because stuff is going to have to start coming out of the garages now. Immediate job is for some shoring up work to happen tomorrow to make sure the roof doesn't continue to move. And then ideally keep them out of the garage in the somewhat medium term so that they can get in and actually replace the roof. We're probably going to get away with putting a couple of cars back, but we've just been to see a storage location. So I used to use Henry's Car Barn, which is actually miles away from us. Very nice place, very expensive. We found an equally, if not more secure place. It's literally just down the road from us, which is great. Lovely chap called Tim that runs the place. And they've got a couple of units available to put stuff in. So some of the more fragile vehicles, so the Bentley Turbo R, the BMW E30 Cabriolet and the Fiat at least are going to go up there. And the T5R, well, I might make the excuse to keep that on the driveway so that I can have a little poke around it, do some remedial work that we identified when Johnny was here for the late break show. And it might actually force my hand to do a few bits on that, see if we can actually get it back on the road, because that would be nice. It also means if I do want to put it in storage, it'd be a lot easier to move if I can get it on MOT and back on the road. Although that's unlikely to happen quickly because it needs 4 new tyres at a very minimum. But the Fiat is on the road. The Bentley and the BMW will need taxing before we take them up there. The Fiat doesn't need taxing, it's tax exempt. So that will be a fairly easy fix. And actually, while we're sitting in the Land Rover, time has progressed so much in the time I've had this, and I've done so little with it. This is almost tax exempt. So this time next year, this will be a tax and MOT exempt vehicle. It will probably continue to go through MOTs because, well, Land Rover, and things fall apart quicker than I'd care to think about. So getting the MOT done regularly means at least we know what's going on with it. But there's a sort of cabin full of parts waiting to go on this car, so I have got some things in the pipeline. Right, first job now then is to see whether the Land Rover will start. I'd left it for 18 months and it started on the button last time. I hadn't even disconnected the battery, so that was quite impressive. So let's try again, shall we? Okay, so choke is out, ignition is on. We'll just let the fuel pump prime for a little bit and see if it'll start. Come on, old girl. It's trying. There we go. It's running on maybe 4. We'll give it a second. The alternator hasn't quite kicked in yet. Come on. There we go. Alternator is on. We briefly had 8. I think we've got about 6 or 7 at the moment. There we go, all 8 on song. Lovely jubbly. Just like that, everything is warmed up, so I'm going to use low box so we can dawdle around the driveway. I am on private land before anybody says about using a phone while driving. If you're not familiar with this car, yes, that is an automatic gearbox in a Land Rover 90 with a V8, because the underpinnings on this are distinctly of Range Rover vintage. Hence the little high-low selector and no diff locks, which is a little unusual. If you're at all wondering what this is just a bit of off-cut. The pipe from when we laid a channel under here for this power cable had just ended up on the bonnet. So it's become part of the Land Rover for now, until I take it off and recycle it. Along with a growing collection of animal bones, because, well, it is a farm after all. And some bits of rusty metal. And just like that, she's back where she belongs, parked on the earth, rather than the hard standing. Right, time to move this lot, so we can start getting cars out. I do miss the noise this thing makes, though. Howdy went predictably easily, obviously. Now time for Le Van, which should, once we Glow plugs have run. Sort of start on the button. This takes forever to go off, which is marginally worrying, but it's alive. Right, another thing to get rid of. Another one to move. Clear is alive and running. Starts on the button, even though it's been sat here for, well, 2 weeks now. So, do love this little thing. A couple of weeks' time, and this is going in for a clean and a detail with a company called Velocity Detailing in Melbourne, in the East Midlands. I'm led to believe they do excellent work. They've done a lot for Paul Cowland off of the telly, so really looking forward to that. But in the meantime, it's going to have to go out on the road along with everything else that is taxed and MOT'd, apart from potentially that one, because, well, I don't trust the spirit of ecstasy not to go walk about parked down the street. Right, that's all the easy stuff moved. I have a clutch of keys in my other hand. Now it's on to moving the Fiat, which could be interesting. But the Triumph has moved, the Bonneville is out. That's now in the big barn. So time to see if we can get the Fiat in the big barn as well. It's alive! Obviously the choke is still on. It's revving its nuts off. But took a little bit of getting going, but it lives. Now this is going to go in the big barn because I want this to stay at home if I can. Okay, next up, we've got to get the yellow peril down from up there, but there is a lot of stuff, including the toolbox, I think, potentially in the way. So that's going to be fun. Oh yeah, that light might need to move. Hopefully. I think so. So far so good. Nothing's gone crunch yet. I'll leave him for 2 minutes and he's pulling the damn thing apart. But that's because the battery doesn't fit. What could possibly go wrong?
As if the only one you've only got lying around is that f***ing truck battery.
I know. How much is it, like an 038?
Batteries are expensive these days, man.
Really?
Yeah.
You should get a Diddy one for like 50, 60 quid. Ironically, this started first time. Too bad. Got a camera person, right?
Need a tripod for the day.
I'm bleeding!
Again?
I don't know.
Do you,
Have the time.
if I dispatch you off to get one, I'll get the doors open here.
Where a battery out of that? Where a battery out of Fiat?
Battery at the Fiat would work. About the right size. There's not a lot of room in here. Now, where's you put that pump? Can't get the wheel chocks out because the tyres have gone flat over the wheel chocks, which is good. It means the car won't roll anywhere.
Running on the Fiat battery. I was wondering why the bonnet on the Fiat was open.
So genuinely, last time that started up was when Johnny Smith was here and we put it on the ramps. And it started on the button yet again, some 6 months later. When we eventually found a battery, obviously. Oh, yeah, good. Oh, the wheel is so tight now. Yeah, go on. Yeah, that'll do. So, right down. Yeah, go on. Oh, lights are working good. Yeah, stop at that. Left hand down. Yeah, and stop there. That was jubbly. Yeah, go on. Send it. Well, look, send it. It's going to look like some sort of car show.
It is.
Right, now the big challenge. Let's see if the old girl starts, shall we?
Green one. Oh, that? The alien juice. Is it braking suspension? Go with the braking suspension or steering suspension?
It might be steering as well. Right.
That looks like that size. Oh, my God. Oh, we've got a bit of...
Do we need power in that battery?
Oh, okay.
Well, we opened the door, the lights have not come on, which is marginally worrying.
Probably not. It's on.
Yeah.
Let me flip the battery the other way.
There's nothing on that.
Let me flip the switch in the other direction.
It should have been.
Yeah, it was.
Was it left on?
No. That's a fish and chip now.
Ooh. Nothing.
Taking the batteries in the boot.
Yes. Feel about right.
I mean, it's under it.
It must be. Yeah, sure. Right, there it is.
Yeah, boy.
He's not even very old either.
You got a jump start.
Was it isolated?
Yes, it was f***ing isolated, you nonce. Should we try a jump starter on it? Or should we try the mighty Fiat battery? The f***ing truck battery with some jump leads.
It's whether they have the juice to turn them over. Ready? Yeah. So this isn't going all that well. The Bentley won't start because the battery's completely flat, even though it was isolated, which is somewhat annoying. And like every other car that's isolated, the battery seems to stay alive. This brand new battery has just failed, which is ridiculous. So we've got the battery charging, but in reality, the quickest way of solving this problem, because these cars need to be out of the garage for tomorrow for the remedial work, is I am now going off down to Halford's to buy a selection of new batteries, because the Volvo hasn't got its own battery. That's been using the Fiat battery to get that started. The Fiat could probably do with its battery being charged after starting in numerous vehicles. And I know the Cabriolet doesn't have a battery, so I need at least two to make this doable tonight. Right, I need to find one of my cars out on the road and head off down to Halford's. Nice little spot outside Halford's. How cool is that? Right, well, I've been to get two new batteries, but in the time it's been boiling away sitting in the garage on the charger, it was just enough to turn it over. So now it's running on its old dead battery, which is slightly annoying. But I have two spare batteries because we're going to need one for the BMW up there at least. Right, shall we try and get it out? Okay, that's all for this episode of Automotive Tales. Join us next time as we continue to empty the garage and actually see all of the fleet running, which is quite incredible. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Okay, here she is. E3030EG.